Kim, I'm picking up some very strange energy signatures emanating from Professor Dementor's lair.
No big. Standard equipment on evil lairs.
Right, but still, good luck.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Kim Possible. We are now going into the evil lair, and I was incorrect in the last episode. This is not the last level of the game. I don't know when that will be, but I'm not really complaining about it, because this game is still pretty fun, at least for me, and I'm kind of okay with just kind of taking my time with it. It's a blind run of the game, so I don't really mind including my failures and mucking about quite as much. I mean, to a certain extent. I'm gonna cut out stuff that takes up like a huge chunk of the video, but I don't mind it taking, 10 parts or whatever. Might as well just make it a full LP at this point anyway, and since it's already very close to my entirely arbitrary cutoff point for making a playlist for the LP, which, if you didn't know, is more than 8 segments. I don't really know why I decided that, but I did, because I figured, I don't want to make a playlist for every single LP, because some of them are going to be 2 or 3 videos, the shorter ones. And I don't want to make it 10, because there are several LPs that people would probably want to have their own playlists that are less than 10, like the Lights, Camera, Pants LP, and probably something else. Maybe Open Season, honestly, even though that's only 8, but that is kind of its own thing, and also inexplicably has my most viewed video on this channel, just a random part of Open Season, and a couple of parts of Open Season have 1,000+ views for whatever reason. The rest of the LP has my normal 100 or less views. Can't say I really understand what that's about. What was I even talking about? I just kind of went on 40 different little tangents there, but whatever. The music in this game, that really sort of jazzy spy type music, reminds me in certain pockets of the game. I don't know why I thought you needed to use the gun to get past these things, and that they aren't just normal obstacles, because I'm a fucking bonehead. But, anyway, the portions of the music in this game remind me of the music from the Penguin Mutiny level in the Madagascar game, which makes me want to play the Madagascar game. That's one of those games that, I always imagine myself playing and being oh man, that would be really fun, it would bring back all the old feels. And then when I'm actually playing it, I'm maybe 40% of the time I'm feeling that, and then the other 60% I'm I was playing this fucking video game. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. I mentioned this in a recent stream. I think it was the last stream that I did. Fuck. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, I had a dream when I was in 3rd grade, that the penguins from Madagascar cut my arms off. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But my dream was that Rico, specifically, put my forearms, on a cutting board, and he took out the big knives at the end of the movie when he slices up the sushi. He just used them to cut my arms off, and I just had 2 stumps. And he cut me in the middle of each of my forearms, which I don't know if that would even be possible without, you'd have to cut through the bone. But he did that, and then I woke up and I was scared. And that's what was going through my head when I was 8 years old. I had those beloved penguins, probably my favorite part of the Madagascar movies when I was a kid, as I'm sure was the case for many children. They really did me dirty in my subconscious for some reason. Also, yeah, I decided to try on one of the outfits because that's a thing in this game, and I've just been kind of passing it up. I was wondering if the outfits maybe give you some sort of special powers or protection or something, and I don't think that's the case. Maybe some of them do, but this was the only one available to me, and it seems to be an entirely cosmetic change, which is fine. It's kind of a nice coat, so that's cool. I like when you hop on their heads like that in these low ceiling areas. So I hear that Paramount Plus, the new Paramount streaming service, is launching in like a day, and the new SpongeBob movie is going to be on it, and I don't think I'll be getting that to watch it, but I do want to watch that movie soon. I want to do a rewatch of the first movie and the second movie, which I've only seen all the way through once, and it was when I saw it in theaters, so I would really like to check that out again. Before I go into the third one, which I'm not really expecting to like very much, but I'll give it a shot. And sometime during the course of this year, I do plan on catching up with SpongeBob. What I want to do is I want to go straight through. Seasons 1 through 6 are all on Prime for free, so what I would do is I would watch through all those, and then through whatever means I can find, I would go from 7 to, I think they're on 11 or 12. I don't know if 12 is done yet, but I'll try to go up to the most recent one, unless it's just like unbearably boring and I don't feel like finishing it. But I want to give it a shot because I've heard some positive things about some of the newer episodes after like season 8-ish. Because I made it up to partway through season 7 when I was a kid, and that's when it fell off for me and when I stopped watching it. But I like to look at it and see what it's like so I can evaluate it. I'm not really privy to much stuff that's on like current TV, both streaming and even more so broadcast TV. Most of the stuff that I'm watching, first of all, I mostly watch movies, and most of the shows I watch are older shows, or just shows that me and Liv already like and that we like to watch. The only network show that I have kept up with is Bob's Burgers, and that's just because that was already a show that me and Liv watch all the time. We watch the old episodes. I mean, we've seen the like seasons 1 through 5 episodes of Bob's Burgers like 40 times each at this point. Yeah, I got absolutely owned by the wall jumping part. All you really got to do is double jump for the when you first start it, and so you're a little bit higher, because if you just hop, then you'll always be just a little bit too low and hit your little piggy on the laser and get fricked in the ass. But yeah, most of the reason that I don't really pay attention to most current TV is because it sucks, and when I do see parts of it, I don't really like it. Liv is much better about that. She will often watch the TV shows du jour, the ones that people are talking about and that are new. She watched Bridgerton, which I saw parts of and looked pretty stinky to me. Bridgerton I'm also going to, and recent Netflix and streaming shows in general, but specifically stuff like Bridgerton, I'm going to fault those shows with the recent spate of people on Twitter, mostly like 18-year-olds, so maybe people who just need to stop watching movies and TV with their parents in the room, but some of it is adults who are just genuine prudes and just weird, at least to me. Where like every other week on film Twitter or just regular Twitter, someone posts the super awesome hot take that there shouldn't be sex scenes in stuff because it never moves the plot forward and it's uncomfortable to watch. And, you know, personal preference, whatever. But I just think the move the plot forward thing is kind of stupid mainly because that's not the only reason that scenes are, you know, like, why, I don't know, were you like, you only watch visual media for the plot? Couldn't be me. I don't know, I just think it's silly. Because in stuff like Bridgerton, the sex scenes are pretty gratuitous, but more importantly than them being gratuitous and filling in for actual, like, development and story, which is what people accuse all sex scenes of doing, which just tells me that they're not watching good stuff. Like, most problems that people seem to have with stuff would be alleviated if they watched stuff that's older than, like, 10 years old. But, anyway. But apparently, that was another fucking stupid-ass day of discourse on film Twitter, was the person who is a film director and screenwriter, not a recent one. She hasn't really gotten a lot of recent work. She made, like, a war, like, basically like a military propaganda movie, but, and a Punisher movie. She was saying how she doesn't watch old movies because they, quote, don't hold up to modern standards. They don't look good. And also because they have racism and sexism in them. You know, qualities that no new movie has. And I don't know, I just think that's inherently limiting. And the best way that I kind of saw that responded to was from Will Sloan. And he was like, look at the recent, like, TV remake of the movie Rebecca, and then look at the 1940 original that's in black and white, and just tell me, like, which one is more appealing to look at, like, beyond anything about story or standards or what have you. I personally think it's stupid to use it doesn't hold up to modern standards as a criticism of an older movie or TV show. I think that's kind of stupid because of course not. And why would it, and why would you expect it to? It came out at a different point. And I just think it's like an inherently very limiting way of looking at things. And again, people have their personal preference. If you don't like older stuff, then whatever. I'm not gonna force you to like anything, and you don't need to like what I like. But I am allowed to make fun of your reasons if I think they're stupid. So, I don't know. I don't even know how I got on this. I think it's just part of the more general trend that I was referring to of things sucking. And I think that's a big part of what a lot of young people who are talking about stuff on Twitter now are feeling. It's just the sort of the constant stimulation of media that you have now. People have very little patience for certain things, and they also like think that movies and TV are like bad because of weird stuff. I don't know. It just I don't know how to explain this to people who aren't fucking brain poisoned by Twitter shit like I am. But basically, I just feel like some people have really confusing and baffling ways of looking at the stuff that they consume. And I was gonna somehow tie this to the new SpongeBob movie and the awful CGI spin-off show, which I thought was gonna be like a couple years down the line, but is already starting. I don't think I'm gonna tune into that one, but if I can find a way to watch that without patronizing Paramount for it, I would like to potentially do a little video or a little write-up on it. I'd really like to start up a website and actually start writing some written stuff in supplement to videos. Wouldn't that be nice?